Hi guys, welcome to your video lecture all about mining and how we obtain energy or resources from the ground. This is a huge environmental impact, or they have huge environmental impacts, which is why we say talking about mining to the human impacts of the lithosphere instead of talking about it in our processes and properties unit. You're going to need your editable notes. They look like a Word document. Use those and use this video lecture to fill in the blanks. Let's talk about North Carolina mining resources here. So an important industrial mineral mining districts in North Carolina. Let's look at what we in Bladen County generally mine. If you look, you can find Bladen County right here on the map. We've got a grayish spotted blob right here. If you follow the indicator, you can see that we primarily mine peat in Bladen County. Say maybe we wanted to go over here towards some of our more mountain regions here. You can see in, I can't even read that county, but we mine some gemstones in North Carolina. The green dots are feldspar, mica, kaolin, silicon, olive, and a couple gemstones. We mine some lithium near Lincoln County. And we mine a little bit of coal here. And some clay, some heavy metals, and some phosphorus over here close to the more coastal regions, or not coastal, but near the sound right here. So we mine quite a few different minerals here in North Carolina. Again, in Bladen County, we mainly mine peat. Let's talk about how we actually mine. So we can mine underground, or we can mine above the surface of the ground. All right, back to it. There are two types of mining. So we have underground mining, which, as you can guess, happens underneath the surface of the earth, and we also have surface mining. So underground mining uses the tunnels and the shafts, just like what you would imagine like the Seven Dwarfs being in. So you go and it's really dark, and you start mining out the different pieces of the earth, whatever it is you're looking for. We do those with drills. We have three different types of underground mining. The first is called a drift mine, and that's where it's on the surface, you go straight through. A slope mine will actually take you, you'd walk down a slope or move your equipment down a slope to get to the surface or the coal beds. And a shaft mine, which is what uses those elevators to get the coal from the surface and to the top. Generally, the type of mine depends on how far down the mineral is, or whatever it is you're mining with is in the surface. For the deeper coal beds or whatever you're mining, we're going to be using shaft mines. If they're right there on the surface or at the top of the mountain, easily reachable, we will use a drift mine. And the slope mine is kind of the middle. Now, surface mining is a different beast altogether. Surface mining works their way from the top of the mountain or the supply of whatever it is you're looking for and goes all the way down. We can do that by mining the entire top of a mountain off. We can do contour mining, which is where you dig just a little bit in and pull the mineral or whatever you're mining for out. We can do high wall or auger mining, which actually digs down into it. Or we can do whole area mining, where we are taking off complete big chunks, taking out what we need and discarding what we do not need. Should be presenting. This is called open pit mining, so this would be one of our surface mining techniques. A lot of the times when we have quarries, this is what we're talking about. Machines are used to dig large holes in the ground and remove the ore. The excess material is put in, so the rocks that you're not using is put off to the side, and then they'll sometimes fill these. Sometimes these become lakes as well, so they dig deep down and down and down, further down into the surface. This is a graph of two types of different, or not types, this is a timeline actually. So here is what would happen if we're operating a pit mine right here. So we have dug deep down into the ground or the surface of the earth, and we are trying to get the minerals out. So we've got this big open pit, just like we saw in this right here. Like I said, eventually it is going to close up. We're done, so we've got all the minerals out. We're going to let it naturally fill with water, and it will eventually become a lake or just a pond. Many times people will explore these. They're usually really big. I know people who have scuba dived, and that's where they get their certification, because it's actually so deep down in a quarry or a once quarry that's filled with water and it's now a lake. This is strip mining, so this is different. So pit mining, think definitely big pit deep down in the hole, and your movement is down or vertical. Strip mining, your movement is horizontal. So instead of going down into the earth, you are chunking off horizontal layers of the earth. We do that by using huge bulldozers and other machines to clear away the strips of the earth. Here's what that might look like. So we've got, say, the topsoil and the grass. This, it says on the chart, is a graded embankment and acts as a buffer against dust and noise, so the dust that you're creating doesn't get out into the environment, or the noise as well. The first thing we're going to do is take that topsoil and subsoil off, and we'll store it for later, because generally we'll put the topsoil back after we're done mining. We're going to take then the coal out, so we're exposed to the coal or whatever it is we're mining, and we'll get it out. And then we keep going, and sometimes there's more coal underneath as well. We call that an overburden. And we put the mined materials, or what we're not using, off to the side, so again we can fill it. So this would be like a mine after we've taken out the coal or our desired material is out. We are going to level back off the earth. Then we're going to put that subsoil and topsoil back so that that land can again be used. So the reason why we're studying mining in our human impact system is because it's very disruptive to the land's natural surface. Obviously, we are digging, so we are disrupting what was once there on the surface of the earth. A lot of waste material is often left behind. We've got habitat destruction as well. Because we have lots of open land, we see a lot of erosion, be that by the wind or the water. Landslides can also be an effect of mining, because we're unpacking that tightly packed land, so we're allowing more water to get in there. Pollution, mining is generally very pollutive, whether you think of the fossil fuels that they're using to mine, or just mining the processes in general, because we're taking the rocks from one place and putting them in another. What if we're not just taking rocks? What if we're taking other supplies as well? And then it also uses a large amount of energy. So there are some definite cons or negative human impacts to mining on the lithosphere from mining. So this is one example of what it might look like before we mine an area and after. So you can see it's definitely devastating to the land and area surrounding it. So it's undoubtable we need mining in order to get the energy that we need to do things like power things. So let's think about how we can do this more sustainably, just how we thought about farming and how we can do that more sustainably. One way we can do this is through reclamation, which is when we restore the land to its original or previous condition. So we are very mindful to put the subsoil and topsoil back on. Maybe we plant some trees, we plant some vegetation. Another thing that we could do is just simply reuse or recycle, so decrease the amount or the need for that mined material. We could reduce the use of mined materials, just like I said, by reducing and recycling, or by just decreasing what we use in general. And we can stiffen fines or fees for areas that are not reclaimed or properly put back together after they are mined, and for the environmental pollution that might be caused as well. This is what reclamation might look like. Sometimes we put those quarries in, which is an awesome place for like fish and stuff, but sometimes we want to put them back to farmable or terrestrial land styles. You can definitely tell that it's been mined. You've got that bulldozer marks here. It's definitely terraced a little bit, but it's starting to look more natural than it did when it was being mined. Here's another example of reclamation. And here's choked. Here's what it might look like over time. So here, this is definitely an active mine. They are using it and bulldozing it. Here we see a little bit more grass grow. Here we've got a definite, we start to grow some shrubs and bushes until eventually it looks like it hasn't even been mined, or you can not tell as much that it has been mined. We've definitely restored it to its original properties right here. And that is the end of this video lecture. Enjoy. I'm sorry it was a little choppy. There was a little bit of an interruption today. Have a great day.